Welcome to the prestigious Gallery of Chaos, where every unfortunate mistake is transformed into a breathtaking masterpiece. Watch closely as the first drop begins its descent. Instead of a simple splash, the liquid erupts into a symphony of droplets, dancing through the air with a grace that defies all laws of physics and gravity. Notice the tension in the air as the pristine white fabric prepares to meet its destiny. This is the beautiful beginning of our journey into cinematic disorder. The stain is not a failure. It is a canvas being painted by the universe itself. Every drop is a brushstroke in this grand exhibition of the unexpected. We present to you cinematic chaos. Prepare your eyes for the most stunning series of accidents ever captured on film. Please maintain your composure, dear high-level judge. You are now entering the main hall. As our senior judge, your task is to evaluate the aesthetic value of every stumble, crash, and spectacular fail today. Look at the classic banana peel. In most worlds, it is a joke, but here it is the catalyst for a majestic movement that rivals professional dancers. Observe the rotation. The slip is forgotten as the body takes flight, spinning with a precision that would make the world's finest choreographers weep with sheer envy. Even the landing is a work of art. The impact is soft, the posture is perfect, and the shame is replaced by a sense of ethereal beauty. Moving on to the gala. A tower of crystal is about to succumb to the invisible hands of gravity. Listen to the silence before the first glass falls. Each glass shatters in a specific rhythm, creating a cascading wave of light and sound. It is a liquid domino effect that captures the essence of destruction. The details are staggering. Every fragment of glass reflects the room's ambition, turning a party disaster into a sparkling display of shimmering frozen light and sharp geometry. The waiter's desperation is choreographed like a fight scene. His hands move like lightning, yet the hors d'oeuvres seem to have a mind of their very own. Colors explode in the air as macarons fly like tiny sweet projectiles. This is the palette of failure, painted in shades of pink, green, and pastel blue. We are still in the warm-up phase. If you find this amusing, wait until the real challenge begins. Your journey through the chaos is just getting started. The phone descends into the depths, its screen still glowing with a final notification. A digital life ends, but a visual masterpiece is born in the bubbles. Freedom at last. 100 spheres of color escape into the blue sky, leaving behind a stunned spectator and a void filled with cinematic regret and beauty. From this height, the loss is insignificant. The patterns they form against the clouds are a reminder that sometimes letting go creates the best view of all. The jump was ambitious, but the equipment failed. Watch the leather shoe embark on its own journey, leaving the owner suspended in a moment of pure vulnerability. 1,000,000-to-1 shot. The shoe strikes the target, triggering a symphony of lights and sirens that perfectly sync with the heartbeat of the city's chaotic energy. The observer becomes the subject. As the photographer falls, the lens captures a perspective of the wedding that no planned photo could ever hope to achieve. Every face tells a story of surprise. The reflection in the glass is a mosaic of human emotion, frozen in an 8-second interval of pure, unadulterated shock. A wish gone wrong, or perhaps a wish granted in fire. The glow is ethereal, casting a warm, cinematic light on a celebration that is about to change. The rescue is as dramatic as the accident. The mist rises like a ghost, illuminated by the remaining candles, turning a panic into a mystical, hazy memory. Oranges become runaway stars on the cobblestone stage. They roll with a purpose, chasing the shadows of the morning sun down the narrow streets of Italy. The world keeps moving even when we stumble. The contrast between the rolling fruit and the sleeping cat highlights the quiet beauty found within the chaos. A carbonated explosion takes the shape of love. For a fleeting second, the mess is a symbol, a temporary monument built from sugar and escaping gas bubbles. Through the sticky lens, the world looks different. Every bubble contains a rainbow, a tiny universe of light before it vanishes forever into the afternoon air. The rail was unforgiving, but the failure is spectacular. The board departs like a bird, leaving the skater to face the hard reality of the concrete ground. Fate has a sense of humor. Instead of pain, the skater finds a hidden party. The explosion of confetti turns a failed trick into a victory of style. Stop. Look at this moment. The anticipation is the real art here. In just a fraction of a second, the invisible will become very, very real. The glass remains unbroken, but the ego is shattered. The compression of the features creates a temporary sculpture of surprise and impact against the cold surface. Welcome, judge. You survived the warm-up without a smile. Do not be too confident. True art is just beginning. Hold your breath and keep your face steady. We enter the arena of gravity. Here, athletes become unwilling performers in a theater of physics. Watch the power of this kick, destined for greatness. The ball is no longer a tool of the sport. It is a projectile aimed at your very soul. Experience the velocity as it breaks the fourth wall. Shockwaves travel through the skin like ripples on a pond. The sun catches every drop of sweat, turning a moment of impact into a golden liquid crown. In the eyes of the defeated, we see the true cost of the game. The lights of the stadium fade into a dreamlike blur of cinematic failure. A clean break. The racket heads for the heavens, leaving the player holding nothing but a handle and a look of absolute confused disbelief at the situation. What goes up must come down, and sometimes it finds a new home. A crown of nylon and strings for the most unsuspecting boy on the court. Balance is a fragile thing. As she falls, her form becomes an abstract expression of human effort, a temporary statue carved from movement and the fear of falling. She is consumed by a sea of blue. The foam blocks rise like a glitch in the matrix, cushioning the fall but amplifying the visual impact of defeat. The rim rejects the offering. The ball returns to its master with a vengeance, proving that even in sports, karma is a circular and very heavy thing. The viewer and the victim collide. Through the lens of the falling camera, the world becomes a chaotic swirl of jersey colors, sweat, and hardwood floor texture. Nature strikes back. A simple swing leads to a chain reaction of metallic clangs. The clubs spill out like a deck of cards dealt by a ghost. Even in a mess, there is elegance. The chrome reflects the frustration of the player, while the grass remains indifferent to the metallic intrusion on its piece. Underwater, the harmony breaks. The collision creates a blossom of bubbles and limbs, a fleeting aquatic sculpture that only exists for a single messy moment in time. The stakes are rising. Can you maintain your focus while these champions of the world stumble so beautifully? Remember, their pain is our cinematic treasure today. So close, yet so far. The finish line becomes a distant dream as the track claims its prize. The slide is long, dramatic, and perfectly lit by the sun. The weight of the world is too much. The bounce of the iron creates a rhythm of failure, a heavy beat that echoes through the silent, shocked stadium. The momentum is unstoppable. In the dust of the slide, we see the spirit of the athlete, a ghost of effort that lingers long after the play. A sudden loss of friction. The skater becomes a reluctant gymnast, his body forced into a position that defies his training and his very dignity as well. Lunch is served with a side of wood and grip tape. The splash of tomato sauce is a vibrant red accent in this urban landscape of beautiful accidents. The story continues on four wheels. The pepperoni is a trophy of the collision, a small, greasy reminder that chaos always leaves a mark on everything it touches. The ocean swallows the brave. Inside the foam, the world is a kaleidoscope of bubbles and light, a chaotic sanctuary where the surfer is merely a passenger. Released from the depths, the board takes flight. It is a sleek, fiberglass arrow pointing toward the sky, escaping the power of the relentless, churning sea below. earth meets lens. The mud creates a natural filter, obscuring the vision but adding a raw, organic texture to the high-speed descent into the dark forest floor. From mud to beauty, the crash ends in a soft, floral embrace. The blue petals dance in the air, celebrating the end of a very dangerous journey. The bar is a cruel judge. It follows the athlete down, marking the failure with a physical touch. On the mat, the jumper is a fallen angel of sport. Grace interrupted. The sharp steel carves a new path, a scar on the ice that glows with the reflection of the arena's high-intensity spotlights and cold atmosphere. A trail of glitter marks the site of the accident. Each sequin is a tiny mirror, reflecting the overhead lights and the skater's momentary loss of perfect control. Suspended by a thread, the climber becomes a pendulum. The vastness of the canyon emphasizes the smallness of the mistake and the beauty of the save. The peloton collapses. A rainbow of spandex and carbon fiber merges into a single, chaotic entity, sliding across the hot asphalt under the midday sun's harsh glare. The race goes on, but for some, time has stopped. The spinning wheel is a clock with no hands, counting the seconds of a lost and forgotten victory. Urban exploration has its risks, but sometimes the city provides a soft landing. The pillows explode in a cloud of feathers and dust, turning a fail into comfort. Flight is temporary, but the mascot is forever. The tumble is a slow-motion descent into the absurd, ending in the fuzzy arms of a giant plush bear. Their pain is our masterpiece. As we conclude the dance of gravity, ask yourself, are you still a serious judge, or has the chaos finally won you over? We enter the kitchen, where destruction is the main course. A 5-tier monument of sugar and cream is about to meet its very messy and spectacular end. Bullet time. The layers drift apart like continents on a sugar-coated earth. Frosting pearls become tiny white planets, orbiting a center of sponge cake and strawberry jam. The impact is a culinary supernova. A shockwave of cream and crumbs destroys everything in its path, creating a landscape of sweet pink and beautiful devastation today. The creator is now the creation. Bathed in the remains of his work, the chef becomes a living statue of modern culinary art and deep personal regret. Red wine on white linen, the ultimate artistic sin. The liquid travels in a perfect bloody arc, staining the purity of the table with a deep crimson grace. The stain is a map to nowhere. It expands with a life of its own, turning the dinner party into a scene from an abstract expressionist's wildest dreams. Golden threads of pasta weave a story in the air. For a brief second, they are a floating crown of wheat before they return to the earth below. The businessman is now a canvas for carbs. The sauce drips with a cinematic rhythm, mocking the seriousness of the boardroom with the absurdity of the kitchen. The meatball is the lone survivor. It rolls with a sense of purpose, leaving a trail of red sauce as a testimony to the chaos that just occurred. 10 minutes and 8 seconds. Your discipline is impressive, but your heart rate is climbing. Do you wish to yield to the chaos, or can you endure? Enter the realm of the smallest agents of chaos. A child, a bucket of paint, and a white rug. The ingredients for a disaster of biblical proportions. The dog is now a masterpiece. A splash of blue turns a common pet into an icon of accidental art, standing still in the center of the mess. Jackson Pollock would be proud. The room is transformed into an immersive art installation, with every blue speck telling a story of a very long bath ahead. The ceiling is now green with envy. The smoothie has escaped its glass prison, turning the kitchen into a swamp of healthy liquid and very green failure. Defying gravity, the pancake finds a new home. It clings to the plaster like a leathery golden sun, waiting for the perfect moment to return to earth. A miracle in the kitchen. The chaos comes full circle, returning the breakfast to its rightful place with a cinematic puff of steam and perfect timing. the world turns white. In the bakery, a cloud of flour transforms the workers into ethereal spirits, wandering through a haze of finely ground wheat and dust. Through the dust, excellence survives. A single croissant remains untouched, a golden beacon of hope in a world of white powder and culinary disaster and chaos. Celebration comes for us all, even if we are not ready. The colorful ribbons clash with the man's expression, creating a portrait of festive, unwanted joy. The tower of porcelain begins to sing its final song. The wobble is a rhythmic countdown to a symphony of crashes and broken dreams of dinner. From the pieces of the past, a new image is formed. The broken ceramic is no longer trash. It is a mosaic of life's unpredictable and sharp edges. The sweet life becomes a sticky nightmare. A river of chocolate overflows, coating the evening in a brown, delicious, but incredibly inconvenient layer of pure liquid cocoa. Ambition can be messy. The attempt to save the situation leads to total immersion. A bronze statue made of sugar, standing tall amidst the chocolate rain. The cat is the catalyst. A breakfast disaster is born in a splash of milk and flying cereal, a liquid crown for the king of the household. Observe the flight of the grain. Each ring is a colorful satellite orbiting the kitchen table, illuminated by the soft golden light of a very messy morning. The fan becomes a centrifugal force of Italian cuisine. Pepperoni and olives fly like shrapnel, turning the pizzeria into a battleground of dough and flying cheese. Target locked. The humble olive becomes a precision-guided projectile, seeking out its target with a cinematic intensity that would make any action movie director very proud. Fire meets water in a celebratory clash. The blue of the pool and the gold of the sparkler merge into a mystical mist, a truly cinematic birthday. The party is over, but the visual lingers. The dissolving sugar creates a nebula in the water, a sweet and watery end to another year of life. The sushi returns to the air, if not the sea. Each roll is a tiny rice-filled traveler, embarking on a journey across the expensive restaurant floor. A moment of pure accidental skill. Amidst the chaos, a single success shines through. The chopsticks hold the prize, a tiny victory in a sea of failure. A prehistoric tragedy in a breakfast bowl. The amber syrup becomes a sticky tomb for the dinosaur, a sweet and golden end for the plastic beast. The thread of life is made of sugar. It says. It stretches and glows, a bridge between the clean world above and the sticky reality that awaits us all below. Nature is our next director. Observe the apex predator in its natural habitat, the living room. The jump is calculated, the focus is absolute, the pride high. Calculation meets reality. The slip is sudden, the trajectory ruined. The majestic jump becomes a frantic scramble for survival against the smooth, unforgiving surface of wood. A soft landing for a bruised ego. The basket of laundry is a temporary prison of cotton and silk, where the cat must face its greatest enemy, embarrassment. From the sky comes a winged thief. The seagull is a master of the aerial heist, targeting the most delicious prize on the boardwalk with surgical precision. A perfect crime. The ice cream is gone in a flash of white feathers, leaving behind a stunned tourist and a trail of melting pink disappointment. The victor escapes into the sunset. The stolen treasure glows in the dying light, a trophy of the sky's dominance over the ground dwellers and their sugary treats. A battle of giants in a miniature world. The nut is the ultimate prize, the center of a chaotic whirlwind of fur, claws, and ancient squirrel instincts. The prize is lost to a higher power. Confusion reigns as the treasure vanishes, leaving the warriors to wonder where their hard-earned prize has suddenly disappeared to. The best friend, but not the best athlete. The ball finds its target, but not in the way anyone expected. The flop of the ears is pure cinema. A halo of droplets surrounds the dog, turning a simple mistake into a divine moment of light and water. Even the wet dog is a beautiful subject. The panda, a creature of zen and total lack of coordination. It rolls not by choice, but by destiny, a monochrome ball of fluff in a green world. The destination reached. The flower is a gift from the hill, a small decoration for the king of the tumble. It looks at you and you must not laugh. Aerial acrobatics gone wrong. The parrot finds a new source of wind, its feathers a mess of tropical colors against the white blades of the spinning fan. Music from the chaos. The chandelier sings as the bird finds its perch, a crystal symphony triggered by a feathered explorer in a world of glass. The enemy within. The reflection is too much for the senses to handle. The cat takes flight, a gravity-defying puff of fur and pure, unadulterated feline terror, the perfect escape. The box becomes a fortress of solitude, closing its doors on the world and the terrifying cat that lives inside, the mysterious mirror. A minor stumble in the parade. Even the most organized groups have their moments of disorder. The roll is quick, but the cinematic impact is everlasting. Is this reality or a carefully directed scene? The cat knows the answer, but it will never tell. It only knows that the puzzle pieces belong everywhere. A single piece of the picture, cast into the void. It spins with the weight of 1,000 incomplete thoughts, a fragment of a lost and broken logic. The wheel of fate turns for us all, but for the hamster, it turns much faster. A blur of fur and motion in a metallic spinning world. The journey ends in comfort. The wood shavings are a soft desert for the tiny traveler who stares back at the wheel with a look of suspicion. The hunter becomes the slider. The glass is a barrier to the prize and a slippery path to the bottom. A slow-motion descent of a failed predator. The prey remains unmoved. The fly is a witness to the failure, a tiny observer in the grand drama of the window pane and the sliding lizard's defeat. The eternal pursuit. The dog creates a cyclone of gold and red leaves, a natural masterpiece of motion and the endless circle of the simple, happy mind. The impossible goal has been achieved, but at what cost? Success leads to a loss of balance, a reminder that the chase is often better than the prize, a final touch of nature. The leaf is a medal for the victor, a tiny organic crown for a dog who finally caught the uncatchable tail of his dreams. The edge of the world is a slippery one. The cat's struggle is a high-stakes drama played out on the white ceramic stage of the bathroom. Instant regret. The launch is faster than a jet, a spray of water marking the exit of a cat who has decided that the bath is not for him. The mountain meets the bounce. The goat finds a new way to reach the peaks. Each jump a cinematic elevation of the spirit and the very hooves. Natural talent. The flip was unintentional, but the landing was legendary. The goat remains the king of the bounce, cool, calm, and perfectly collected after the stunt. The wise observer. The owl sees all, judging the chaos with a slow, deliberate blink. It is the silent witness to our journey through the beautiful failures. Style has no rules. The monkey takes the fashion world by storm, wearing the shades with a confidence that ignores the fact they are completely upside down. Pity the one without claws. As we leave the animal kingdom, remember that even in the wild, the line between majesty and comedy is very, very thin. The final battle begins. No more warm-ups, no more games. We enter the heart of the chaos, where the speed is high and the stakes are higher. A mechanical failure of cinematic proportions. The chain breaks, sending silver shrapnel through the air, a metallic scream for the end of the race for this rider. Man and machine part ways. The biker takes flight, a dark shape against the golden light of the afternoon, destined for a very hard and dusty landing. Science is about to become art. The mixture of the unknown leads to a reaction that no textbook could ever predict. Watch the colors begin to merge. A chemical symphony. The foam rises like a mountain of cotton candy, beautiful and dangerous, turning the cold lab into a dreamscape of vibrant, toxic colors. The discovery of the century. Beautiful failure. The scientist is a canvas of neon, a survivor of a rainbow explosion that has changed his day forever. The board yields to the pressure. Mid-air, the wood snaps, leaving the skater with nothing but the air beneath his feet and the cold ground below him. The boxes provide a geometric sanctuary. They fall in a choreographed sequence, turning a dangerous jump into a masterpiece of falling cardboard and urban survival today. Power without control. The wheels spin, painting the air with mud and light, a raw display of mechanical frustration in the dying light of the day. Engineering meets its limit. The wood screams as it breaks, 1,000 tiny lives ending in a single second of structural failure and cinematic wooden destruction. Every splinter is a line of light. The destruction is symmetrical, a perfect starburst of wood and glue that captures the exact moment of total system failure. Fire and water, balance and chaos. The torches leave a trail of smoke as they seek the cool embrace of the fountain, ending the performance early. The final hiss of the flame. The steam rises like a ghost, illuminated by the last embers, a watery grave for the heat and the circus dreams. The ultimate challenge. 10 lives in the air, each one fragile and white. The juggler is a master of the impossible, or so he thinks today. The rhythm breaks. One by one, the eggs find their target. It is a percussion of shells and yolks, a messy beat on the juggler's very skin, a mask of gold and slime. The eggs transform the performer into a sculpture of breakfast ingredients, a sticky end to a very ambitious and difficult feat. The last egg. A desperate attempt to save the show ends in a mouthful of liquid failure. The yolk drips like gold, a final messy curtain call. A musical tragedy. The grand piano begins its final descent, a heavy shadow falling over the street as it prepares for its last and loudest note. The keys are set free. They soar into the sky, a flock of ivory and ebony birds escaping the wooden cage of the piano's shattered and broken body. The heart of the music is revealed. The strings curl like golden hair, a metallic sunset of sound that will never be played again by any human hand. The earth becomes the sky. 1,000 sparks ignite at once, turning the ground into a battlefield of light, color, and uncontrolled, beautiful, and very loud chaos. The city is set on fire with light. Every window is a mirror for the explosion, a kaleidoscope of urban energy and accidental, brilliant, and stunning beauty. The smallest end. A single spark finds its peace in the water, a tiny blue light that marks the end of the grand and fiery display. The final domino. A mountain of light begins its collapse, a glowing wave of sequence and timing that leads us to the end of our journey. I am everywhere. Even in the chaos, there is a design. My face is built from the pieces of your amusement and the beauty of these failures, the reflection of 1,000 stories. Every shard of glass contains a memory of a fall, a spill, or a crash, a mosaic of our collective experience. Walking through the debris, each step is a note in the song of the shattered, a crystalline melody that echoes through the halls of the gallery. Look at what we have created. A garden of wreckage, a palace of the unpredicted. This is the true pinnacle of art, the beauty within the mess, the final boss. In a world of chaos, the ultimate challenge is the thing that remains perfect. Can you handle the silence of the unbroken? There it is, the final touch. The smallest ripple is the most profound of all. Our journey is complete, and the chaos has found its final peace. Did you win? Did you keep your serious face through the storm of beauty? Only you know the truth, Dear judge of this chaotic world today, the challenge is over. If you did not laugh, you are truly a statue of discipline. I thank you for your time and your very serious eyes. Leave a comment with the moment that moved you most. Until we meet again at the next peak of chaos, stay cinematic and stay beautifully unlucky. Stay unlucky.